Good morning. This week we are going to look at your blood vessels. Blood vessels are kind of the unsung hero of the cardiovascular system. Obviously, everyone talks about the heart, and then, secondary is kind of the blood, but blood vessels are incredibly important parts of your system and really fascinating organs that are found inside of your body. Some interesting notes about your blood vessels is, number one, you have enough blood vessels inside of your body to circle the globe more than 2 times. So on average, you have 60,000 miles of blood vessels in your body, and the circumference of the globe is a little less than 25,000. So even though your blood vessels are very, very, very small, you have a ton of them in your body. That's crazy. Think about that. Circling the globe 2 times, more than 2 times, worth of blood vessels inside of your bodies. They carry 1 million barrels of blood during the course of a lifetime. On average, there are 1,800 gallons of blood that will pump through your blood vessels during the course of the day. So during the course of a lifetime, that ends up equaling over 1 million barrels of blood. Blood vessels work as a team, something you'll learn about this week. The 3 major types, arteries, veins, and capillaries, all work together. When the heart contracts, blood is pumped into the arteries that carry it away from the heart. Arteries are connected to thin, tiny-walled blood vessels called capillaries, which allow oxygen and carbon dioxide to be exchanged. And then those capillaries then turn into veins, which carry your deoxygenated blood back to the heart, where it will go to the lungs, as you learned in the last chapter, to pick up oxygen. Serious conditions can affect all types of blood vessels. So obviously when we talk about heart disease and atherosclerosis, those are looking at veins and arteries, but there are diseases that also affect capillaries. So you can have a disease of any type of blood vessel. Blood vessels act as a force field for the brain, kind of Star Wars-ish. Blood vessels are part of an important defense system known as the blood-brain barrier, something you learned about back in the nervous system in semester 1. A network of blood vessels and tissue comprise of closely spaced cells help keep harmful substances from reaching the brain. The blood-brain barrier allows some essential substances such as water, oxygen, carbon dioxide to pass into the brain, but it keeps other dangerous substances out. So they are an important part of protecting your brain from bacterial infections in particular, and other types of pathogenic organisms. Also, we know that diseases of blood vessels found inside or near the brain can also lead to diseases such as Parkinson's disease and Alzheimer's disease to some extent. Blood vessels are affected by winter. How appropriate, as we are in the depth of the winter season right now. It helps maintain your body temperature. Blood vessels do. Blood vessels expand to release heat, allowing you to cool down, and then they narrow or constrict to conserve heat when needed. In extreme cases, such as when your feet are exposed to very cold or wet conditions for prolonged periods of time, a condition called trench foot occurs, and this is the constriction of the blood vessels so tightly that they essentially shut down circulation. It causes the skin tissue to actually start to die. You can blame all of those brain freezes on your blood vessels, actually. Anyone who likes popsicles or ice cream may be familiar with the brain freeze. When something cold touches the warm roof of your mouth, local blood vessels constrict to minimize the heat loss. Then it relaxes to restore blood flow. The response triggers a burst of pain that lasts for a few minutes or until the body adapts to the sudden change in temperature. Interesting note, brain freezes occur more common in people who have migraines. Your blood vessels might get a boost from chocolate. Eating moderate amounts of chocolate could offer some benefits, including keeping your blood vessels healthy and helping to lower heart disease and stroke risk. How awesome is that? Go out and eat yourself some chocolate. Obesity takes a toll on blood vessels. It's estimated that every pound of fat requires about 1 extra mile of blood vessels. That means the heavier and the more fat that you have, the harder that your heart has to work, adding strain onto your heart and to your blood vessels. And lastly, blood vessel damage can start very early in life. Blood vessels undergo changes over time with age, just like every other organ that we've discussed. But damage can start really early, even during childhood, especially when you're looking at obesity. Also, the fact that most people become smokers in their teenage years, and smoking can have a really devastating effect on your blood vessels. So just some interesting information. Like I said, fascinating organs in your body.